Alright, so we've covered the marquee tool. Now let's talk about the lasso tools. The lasso tool shortcut is the letter L. So if I use Shift L, I will navigate between the three different lasso tools. Okay. So to make a selection, just like the marquee tools, we will have the option to make a new selection, to add our selection, to subtract a selection, and to intersect our selections. And we can also feather our selections, so we don't have a hard edge, we can have a soft edge. And then to deselect, we would go to select, deselect. To select everything, we would go select all. And we can also go to select inverse to select the opposite of our selection. So for example, if I just have our first button right here, new selection, when I make a new selection, this is what I have. As soon as I click somewhere else, it deselects. So to add onto the selection, I can either hold the Shift key and my lasso icon will have a plus sign added to the right side, or I can click on this icon right here. If you click on the icon, it's more of a permanent addition. I like holding the Shift key because as soon as I let go of the Shift key, it just becomes a regular lasso tool. Okay, so Shift, I will add to my selection. Now Alt will deduct from my selection, right? And then I can deselect by going to select, deselect, or I can just click on the canvas. And I can also have the subtraction by going to this button right here. So if I make a selection, I can click on this button, and now the icon for the lasso has a negative sign on the right hand side. So now I'm subtracting. And the last option, if I click to deselect, I can make one selection, and as soon as I make another selection, it will give me the intersection of those two selections. Again, let me deselect. I am going to make a feather of 50. Once I make the selection, it looks like nothing happened. As soon as I hit Q for quick mask, you can visually see what the selection looks like, right? Versus a masking of 0. Let me deselect and make a selection, and if I hit Q, you can see that our selection is sharp. Alright, so this is the standard lasso tool. I can also go Shift L and select my Polygonal lasso tool, and this tool works like a sharp straight line lasso. And to close your selection, you have to go to the very beginning and notice how the lasso now has a circle on the bottom right as soon as I move on top of the place where I put my first stroke. Or you can use double click and it will close itself. Again, make a selection, double click, and it will close itself. And these options work exactly the same way. So if I hold the Shift key, I can add to my selection, and if I hold the Alt key, I can deselect from my selection. Feather works the same way. So if I type in a feather 50, deselect and make a selection, as soon as I go to quick mask, notice that our selection curved and it's softened out. And this is how the lasso tools work.